Hello, people, and welcome to my Call Me If You Get Lost, Tyler the Creator themed reading. If you guys have been listening to this album, okay, it's a bop, all right. But it inspired me to create a pick a card reading, kind of based off of one of the themes of the album that Tyler was talking about, which was the idea of getting out of your comfort zone, trying new things, traveling the world, leaving your hometown, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so basically, in this reading, we're going to be asking the question, what is your next great adventure? So please feel free to pick one of the four groups based on the number, or you can use the images on the screen. Head down to the description box to see the timestamps, and I hope you enjoy your reading. Hello, group number one, and welcome to your Call Me If You Get Lost themed reading, where we're going to be talking about your next great adventure. We have the Two of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Seven of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the Moon. So right away, I feel like you guys are feeling kind of restless, like you want to make some sort of change. You're feeling very contemplative about some area of your life, because there's a lot of cards here of kind of like, well, first of all, we're looking at the Two of Wands here, right? Like he's kind of looking out from his very comfy, cushy home on the mountaintop, and he's like, what else is out there? Okay, what else is there for me to explore? Like I think there's a feeling of boredom, perhaps. Like there's stuff in the home that, you know, or where you are in life that you still love. Whether it doesn't have to be a physical place, it could also just be like, you know, let's say you are in your job, you've always been an electrician, and now you're like, but what would it be like to be a carpenter? And so you're like, huh. And there's still things about being an electrician that you like. It's not that you hate it, but you're kind of just like getting a little tired. You're getting a little tired of it. Okay, so with the Page of Pentacles here, this kind of tells me that you're kind of looking at something that used to bring you value, and you're kind of contemplating if you still want to move forward with it, or if you want to kind of go do some other things. You're kind of considering things from all angles, just doing a lot of thinking. Okay, with the Knight of Swords and the Seven of Cups, we have a lot of options here. And you're kind of feeling mentally like you need to hurry up and make a decision. Like you feel like you need to pick something. There's a lot of options, and you know, you won't know until you try kind of vibes. Okay, so you kind of really have to be patient with yourself. That's kind of what the Knight of Pentacles here is telling me also, is that whatever this thing is, it's like once you figure out what it is, and it may take a minute, right? You may have to journey from one thing to the next. But once you figure out what it is, you're going to find a lot of prosperity from it, financial prosperity. And there's going to be things coming to you that you're not even aware of with the Moon card, right? Because it is kind of scary, because with the Seven of Cups, I'm a little all over the place with this reading. With the Seven of Cups, there's a lot of options, and you don't know what's for you and what's not for you. But I feel like you need to look at things you used to enjoy, or things you've always wanted to do. Like try to make the decision that's emotionally beneficial for you. Don't try to use logic completely. Like you need to use your intuition, is what I'm trying to say, to make the decision. There may be options that are more logical, or perhaps if this is like something to do with your finances or career, there's options that will make you, in theory, make you more money. Like, you know, being a doctor versus being an artist, right? Like your parents are going to be like, oh, be a doctor, because that in their mind is guaranteed money. Whereas being an artist is like, you know, we don't know how do you know if you'll make money from that? But a lot of people do, right? It's just like, It takes time. It takes belief in yourself. All that kind of stuff. Some of you might actually need to move out. Like some of you actually might need to move to a new home, a new city, a new country, just to kind of figure out what it is that makes you happy and what exactly, like you're kind of going through an evolution here, right? It's like the things that used to serve you no longer serve you anymore, and so now it's time to move on and find something else. So it, again, this could be a home, it could be something that's financial, it could be like a hobby, but there's a sense that what's we used to have here is no longer serving us, and now we're kind of feeling contemplative and we're feeling like we need to move on to something else. But yeah, definitely for victory in this situation with the Six of Wands, we need to use our intuition, and we need to be comfortable knowing that we don't know the outcome of how this is going to turn out, right? Because it's almost like even if you make the wrong choice, there is still something to learn from it, or there is still something that you can take from that wrong choice. Wrong choice. Is there, what are wrong choices? Are wrong choices even a thing? Maybe we should just eradicate the idea that there is a wrong choice here. Maybe that would help. But yeah. I also feel like you guys might be feeling kind of hard on yourselves with the Knight of Swords. This horse is looking real sad to me. The words you're saying to yourselves at this time are important. Okay, your dreams may be trying to tell you things. I'm very all over the place right now. Yeah, going back to the Knight of Swords. You may be feeling very hard on yourselves. You may be feeling like, oh, like, why can't I make this choice? Like, why can't, why can't I this? Why can't I that? Like, you kind of just have to be you give yourself grace and give yourself understanding, because this is not necessarily a 1-2 decision. This is not necessarily a decision where it's like you can plan it out every aspect of the future that's going to come from you making this decision. Like, there's a little bit of the unknown here, and I think Spirit is just trying to get you to trust your intuition and to listen to the messages that are, coming in for you, trying to tell you, giving you guidance on what to do. Okay. So now I'm going to go into the oracle cards that I have. And I haven't looked at these yet. So what do we got? We got the Mirror. Let me put this here. And we have Eros. Okay. Okay, yeah, so with the Mirror, we're definitely looking at ourselves in the mirror. We're definitely examining who we are and what we want out of life with the Mirror. Okay, for some of you, I feel like some of you may have, like, you may have felt like you're destined for greater things, or like you're destined to be in the spotlight, or there's some type of greatness you want to achieve for yourself. There's some type of name you want to make for yourself, and you feel like that's not coming fast enough. And so you're kind of feeling impatient, and you kind of just want to, like, it's like when you're playing a video game and there's that final boss at the end of the game, like Bowser, okay? Like if this is Mario, you got to be Bowser if you want to win the whole game, blah, blah, blah. And you kind of just want to skip levels. Like you want to skip the part where you got to fight the evil turtles and you got to fight this weird mushroom person. Like you're just like, let's just get to Bowser. And life is kind of like, yeah, it doesn't work like that. With Eros here, right, I feel like this is talking about having a love of the process, having a love of life, understanding that each step is a key part of the journey, right? Like there was that quote, It's not about the journey, it's about the destination, right? Like, that's kind of like what Spirit is trying to get you to see, okay? It's about the process. It's about, like, even with your intuition, you're meant to master your intuition. You're meant to become really good at trusting your intuition, divining messages through your intuition. Not necessarily like in like a tarot reader sense, but in like a, just for yourself, so you can make the right decisions and things and be happy. And sometimes mastery does not come without obstacles and challenges. So that's really important here. Okay, just having a love of life, having excitement for life, having a zest for life. Because Eros, I think, usually talks about love. But to me, this is not like a relationship with another person. I feel like this is more like, even though for some of you, maybe it is. Maybe it, you're feeling unsatisfied with whoever you're with currently. But whether it's a friend or a lover. But I feel like this is more about like your life and where you are in life and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm gonna take these two. Now, next we have, what do these say? This one says Yang, and this one says never ending story. Okay. Yang, never ending story. Okay, yeah, so with never ending story, okay, this is relating just to what I was just saying. Okay. Like, this person is feeling unsatisfied. They're clearly upset, but there's like this looks like one of those time, you know what I'm talking about? Them time things where there's like sand in them. I don't know what they're called, stuff in my head. But this kind of looks like that to me. I don't think it is, actually. I think, is it? I don't know. I think it is. Okay. So this is talking about how time is on your side, but you just have to be patient. Like, basically divine timing. Everything happens when it's supposed to. I'm looking at the moon here. The moon and this card are kind of drawing my attention right now. And then we also have the moon. The moon operates in cycles, right? The moon does not stay the same for long. The moon changes signs like every 2 days or something, two or 3 days. Okay, so that's kind of how life is, right? Like, you have your ups, you have your downs, you have times where you're happy, you have times where what used to make you happy doesn't make you happy anymore. And that's just kind of something you have to accept in order to really thrive and have that love for life, that zest for life that Spirit is asking you to cultivate. With the Yang energy, I do feel like Spirit wants you to get moving. Obviously, be patient with yourself, but there is going to be a change. There is going to be some type of action that is going to need to be taken at some point during this process, which makes sense because this is the, your next great adventure reading. Okay, so your next great adventure could be you starting something new, because this card says the number 1. One is the number of, starting something new, starting something fresh, new beginning. And then 3 plus 7 is 10, which 1 plus 0 then becomes 1. Okay, so there's a lot of 1 energy, basically. And sometimes when you're starting something new, it feels very lonely. Like, if I think of it astrologically, and sorry if you're not into astrology, okay, just stay with me for a second, okay? Like, when we look at Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, we associate Aries with the number 1, right? Before Aries comes Pisces. Pisces is isolation, or Pisces rules isolation. Then we have Aries, which is starting something new. So right before we start something new, we could feel kind of lonely. We could feel kind of by ourselves, right? And there's a lot of, in these cards, here we have like being by yourself. Okay, this card, being by yourself. So yeah, you can go out and ask people for their opinion, but at the end of the day, like I said, you need to follow your intuition. You need to follow what's right for you, not taking a poll of what 7 people said and 4 people said you should be a doctor. So ignore the 3 people that said, yeah, be an artist. Okay, or mom and dad said be a doctor, so let me go do, just saying. Okay, next. I'm going to take, I'm going to take this astrological card. It says South Node, karmic past, comfort zone, mastery, old habits, the past, limitations, potential stagnancy. Okay, so the South Node in astrology, that's what we're comfortable with. Those are things that we're used to. Those are things that's like the way we've always done things. That's our comfort zone. Okay, so this is kind of, to me, supporting the idea that you guys need to get out of your comfort zone and move on to something else because you're feeling stagnant in the area. Oh, wow. You're feeling stagnant in the area of life that you're in right now. Let me see if I can get another one of these astro cards just to see if there's anything else. I just pulled one, but maybe there's like a... Ooh. What's the next one? Okay, 10th house. Status. Okay, so this goes back to what I was saying where I feel like some of you want to make a name for yourself. Some of you want recognition. Some of you might want fame. You're very ambitious. There's things you want to accomplish in life, but it feels like you're not getting there fast enough. Okay, so this is talking about with the South Node in the 10th house, I think. Oh, let me move this over. Okay. Hello. Let's do that. Yeah. This is talking about, yeah, for some of you, this might be about your status in life. And I lost track of my thoughts. I don't remember what I was going to say before. Okay, with the pentacles. Okay, so some of you guys might need to start something that's going to take a lot of time. Like, for example, you might have to start something that's going to take study and time to master it. Because 10th house is ruled by Saturn. 10th house is associated with Saturn and Capricorn. Saturn rules time. So this could be something that takes you time and you're feeling kind of irritated because it's like, okay, if I go back to school to become an engineer, for example, well, maybe not an engineer. Yeah, sure. Look, let's just go with that. You have to go back to school to become a famous architectural engineer. That's annoying because I already went to school to become a plumber. I don't know. So you're kind of feeling like, well, I put all this time into this other thing, but if I want to achieve what I want to achieve, I got to go back to the drawing board and I kind of have to really get back into it. But right, we have the page here. The page is usually a beginner. Then we have the knight, which is kind of like that level up. It's kind of like the intermediate, that advanced is like the king of pentacles or the queen, but then the intermediate is like the knight. So it's saying that once you guys make this change and you kind of go with what's emotionally fulfilling you and leave behind what's comfortable, you can advance to the knight stage. So maybe some of you guys aren't complete beginners, but there's just some type of change that needs to be made in order to achieve this career that you want or this status or what have you. Okay. Then finally we have these two oracle cards. So these ones say simplicity and focus. Okay, let's put those here. Simplicity and focus. I don't know. Okay, simplicity and focus. Okay, with simplicity, I feel like you guys need to cut out the noise. Okay? There may be a lot of opinions influencing this decision. Okay, and I also feel like with the feather situation, you guys need to embody being a feather. Did I call this a feather situation? With the feather image, okay? You need to embody being a feather. Like, you yourself need to become a feather. You need to kind of just go where the wind is pushing you, and stop fighting the direction of the wind, right? Like, the wind is blowing west and y'all are trying to run east. Why? That's a waste of time. You're a feather. You should be going west with the wind, okay? So you kind of have to just like let it go in a way, like this decision, not letting it go, but you have to kind of just be willing to go where spirit takes you. Instead of trying to be in control of the situation, because that might not produce the best outcome, or it will produce the desired outcome, but in your quest to achieve this outcome, you have stressed yourself out more than you needed to. Okay, then with the focus card. Okay, with the focus, right, we have this leopard, cheetah. I don't know. I think it's cheetah. I don't know. With this cat, with this large cat, it's in the desert. The desert. What's wrong with me? It's cold. It's in the blizzard. I'm trying to say it's cold. It's in the snow. It's journeying somewhere. So this is kind of talking about the journey of life, right? Like you kind of just have to have your eyes on the prize and just keep it pushing. You'd be focused on your goal, especially if this goal involves mastering a new skill or talent that you are not, super advanced in yet. Okay, also with focus, I feel like you guys need to focus. Like I said, there may be a lot of people trying to influence this decision, or even not a lot of people, but it may just be one person, but maybe they're just really loud. Okay, so you kind of just focus on what you want instead of letting other people in, right? Like we need to build boundaries around this decision, especially with Saturn, the influence of Saturn. Saturn rules, I think, boundaries. Like when I think of Saturn, I do think of like a fence. So build a fence around this decision, build a fence around this new life that you want for yourself, this idealized life that you want for yourself, and then start taking those steps to get to that. And even if those steps are focusing in on that inner voice that's telling you where you need to float on to. Okay. All right, group one. Well, this has been your Call Me If You Get Lost reading. Thank you for joining me. And I'm going to move on to group number two. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Okay. All right. And I'll see you next time. Hello, group number two, and welcome to your Call Me If You Get Lost themed tarot reading, where we are going to be talking about what your next great adventure is going to be. So we have the 10 of Swords, the 4 of Cups, the 8 of Pentacles, Judgment reversed, 10 of Cups, and then finally the 6 of Pentacles here. Okay, so now with this group, I feel like there's some type of opportunity that's going to be coming in for you from some family member, some friends, one of your loved ones. Like I just feel like this overall energy of generosity coming into you, right? So you've been working hard. You guys have been doing some type of hard work. You may have been actually overworking yourself lately. Okay, so maybe some of you are workaholics, or you've been working on some type of project that has required, or not even required a lot of time, but you've just been putting in a lot of time, and it's making you really tired, but you don't care. And even though in the back of your mind, you may know, okay, I need to go on vacation. I need to take a break. I kind of need to relax and recharge. You've kind of just been ignoring those messages, ignoring those signs, and you just keep working. So finally, Spirit is kind of gonna try to like give you an opportunity to take a vacation or take a break through other people, so that you kind of have to go. So maybe it might be a family vacation, or maybe it's like a bunch of your friends are trying to go somewhere and they invite you. Okay, so it could be something like that. And even if it's not a vacation, it could just be like a day at the spa, or just some type of opportunity to kind of take a break and hear your own thoughts for a minute instead of having to like deal with whatever work situation you've got going on. So I think I'm going to try to pull some more cards on the situation. All right, so some of you guys could actually be afraid that if you stop working, you're going to like lose everything. So there's some type of like lack mentality here that could be holding you back. Right? Or you feel like you need to just keep making money. You feel like you can't stop. But I feel like the overall message Spirit is trying to get you to understand is that like, what's the point of doing all this labor if you can't enjoy the fruits? Like, what's the point of planting all these seeds and you get this harvest, but like, what are you going to do with it? Like, you're just going to let the harvest sit there? Like, no, we got to make some food with the harvest. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, you need to, like, this is kind of similar to, well, not really, but part of group 1's message, was also, it was about like having a love for life, like having excitement and love for every step or every part of your life. So this is kind of in a way the same thing where it's talking about like life is not just about like you work until you die. Like you have to enjoy things. You should be able to enjoy take the money you've made and be able to spend it with other people and not always have to worry about like maintaining this flow of money or, you know, if I don't work, then who am I? Who am I without work? Right? Like your identity around that, okay, is a little warped. Okay, then we have the Magician and we have the Justice card. Okay, so I feel like you guys have, with the Justice card, you've kind of put in a lot of work. You put in a lot of time into whatever this is, if it's your job or something, or maybe some of your parents, and you put a lot of time into like, I don't feel like that's what it is. I feel like this is about jobs mostly, but for some of you, if it's not a job, right? Like, let's say it's your children. You put a lot of time into your children. Now it's time for you to take a break and not be on mommy mode or daddy mode or whatever parent mode for, you know, a day or so or whatever. Okay, with Justice, this is talking about there being a lack of balance potentially. Right? So you've been putting in a lot of work, but what have you been getting in return? Like the balance is not there. You're not nurturing yourself at the same time you're nurturing this business or these kids or whatever this is. Now with the Magician, it's talking about like, you're not going to like lose anything if you take a break, right? It's like you had the skill set and the energy to do all of this. It's still going to be here if you take 2 days off, right? Like it doesn't just go away because you decided to take a break. So there's something you feel a responsibility for, and you feel like if you don't continue to take care of it, it's going to be a problem, and that's just not the case. So now with the Oracle cards, the first one we have here is Thanatos. Now, Thanatos usually talks about death, okay? I think he's the Greek god of death, or he has something to do with like the underworld and, you know, Hades and, you know, all that stuff. But anyways, in Greek mythology. But this is also like a spider web. Okay, and I have a deck where the Eight of Pentacles is the spider web. So now when I see spider webs on cards, I automatically think of the Eight of Pentacles, which is right here. Okay. So with Judgment, right? Judgment, like when you look at the Judgment card, it talks about rebirth because it's like there's an angel and there's these souls and they're kind of like being reborn again into a new form when they hear the call of the angel. Okay, but it's reversed. Okay, so this is saying like some type of transformation kind of needs to take place here, where our mindset around our work or our family kind of needs to change, right? Like we can't just be pouring out into this thing that we're nurturing and trying to build. We also need to pour into ourselves as an individual person. That includes taking breaks. Okay, and actually if you did take these breaks, you would have more energy to give. Like you'd be able to give to these other things in a more, I don't want to say in a better way, but in a richer way. Does that make sense? For example, like if it's a business, right? Let's say you sell shoes. You're a shoe designer. Congrats, you're a shoe designer. You have been making the same 3 pairs of shoes for months. You have not created any new collections of shoes. If you take a break and you recharge yourself, you will actually find yourself having more creative ideas to pour back into the shoe brand so that you can create more shoe designs. Okay, so that's kind of like what I'm trying to say. Like if we look at the magician card kind of embodies this idea of as above, so below, right? So like if what's going on with you within is great, what's coming out, like the output of what you're creating, whether that's your kids or your business or something, that's going to also be rich and great. Okay, so balance. Okay, balance. So yeah, we definitely need to work on that. Okay, some of you guys may have come from families where work was overemphasized over play or breaks or sleep. Okay, you may have had parents who like worked a lot or encouraged you to like not do fun things, or discouraged you from doing fun things. So now that's something you're still carrying with you, and that's not necessarily healthy. Like we kind of need to break these generational curses, you could say, or these habits we've picked up from our parents or ancestors or whatever, and cultivate a new practice for ourselves that ultimately will make our family even more healthy, or our descendants, or just ourselves. Okay, even if you don't have kids or whatever. Yeah. All right, let's move on. What other cards do we have here? Okay, so the astrology card we have here is Vesta, which says devotion. Okay, sacred sexuality, fertility, kundalini energy, dedication, purity, self-discipline, focus, passion, diligence, inner spark, spiritual commitment. Okay. Now, when I was shuffling these cards, a whole bunch of cards flew out at first, and the only one that flipped up was the 5th house card. And I just was like, all right, I'm just going to put these back because it's a lot, but note to self, the 5th house flipped up. The 5th house talks about pleasure. Okay, 5th house talks about having fun, having a good old time. So I feel like that relates to this reading. Okay, but if we're looking at Vesta, with Vesta, I feel like this is encouraging you to have devotion to yourself as an individual person, not as something that is responsible for something else or something that is supposed to take care of something else. Okay. Vesta also talks about fertility. Okay. And fertility does not always mean your kids. Like I said, it could also just mean things you've created in general. So like I said, if you have a business or something, or some type of output you've given to your job, like that's a form of creation. Okay, so there's an imbalance in what we're putting that dedication into, and I'm just repeating myself. There's an imbalance in where we're putting our time and energy. Period. Just point blank, period. And some of you guys can be quite like some of you guys actually, I feel like when you do take breaks, if you have in the past, you end up worrying about your job anyway. So you're kind of like, well, what's the point? Because I'm just going to be stressed about my job anyway. That's also not healthy. That's also not good. Like, if you have coworkers, they need to be able to, okay, pick up the slack. That's not fair to you that you're on vacation. Meanwhile, you're still stressed out about what's going on at the office. Your coworkers need to get on it. Or maybe you need to hire other people to help you in this business. Maybe that's what the Four of Pentacles is talking about too, because the Four of Pentacles is someone who's by themselves. So maybe you need to have a team there who can handle things while you're away. Okay, and also just take stress off of you in the day-to-day life, period. Anyways, all right, let me pull some more oracle cards. All right, so we have these two, okay? This one says deep knowing, and this one says fork in the road. All right, with deep knowing, okay, like I said, you guys have been getting messages that you need to be taking a break, or you need to take some type of time for yourself, but you've just been kind of ignoring it. There's some type of like deep reflection. I feel like there's some type of self-reflection that needs to take place, and you'd be able to have time to do that if you did take the time off. And some of you guys have interests in your spirituality or your spiritual devotion, and you just haven't been able to dedicate yourselves to it because you don't have the free time. So maybe some of you guys have wanted to try meditation, or you have wanted to get into, I don't know, if you're religious, you have wanted to get into reading your spiritual texts, or you have wanted to get into learning about esoteric topics like manifestation or law of attraction or tarot or something, and you just haven't had the time to do that because you've just been working. Working. So if you took the time off, you would actually have the energy to put into these other interests that you have. Okay, with fork in the road. Okay, first of all, this card is kind of giving, yes, it's talking about choices. That's kind of the obvious here, but it's also talking about vacation to me. Right? Like you go on a hike and you get to that fork in the hike where it's like, oh, you can go left or you can go right. And if you go left, it's 20 minutes. If you're right, the hike is 10 more minutes or whatever. So that's what this is giving me. It's giving me like, you need to go on a little adventure. You need to go on a little wandering situation that would be healthy for you, because some of you guys could be very controlling, right? And that's part of the reason why you don't want to take a break. So being on a vacation where you don't have control over every aspect of it would actually help you as well. So if you're going on vacation with your family or friends, like try to let them plan it. Okay, just kind of just show up and see what happens. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying you can't have any input into your vacation at all, but I'm just saying try not to be the head person on the vacation decisions and things overall. Okay, I hope that is making sense. Now, finally, I tried to pull only 2. Spirit gave me 4. Okay, so we're just gonna see what they say and get into it. Okay? Okay. So, okay, well, whatever. This is leadership. Okay. Truth. What's to say? Voyage. What did I say? And purity. Okay, so let me start with purity. I feel like some of y'all also need to cleanse your energy. In addition to cleansing your Okay, so I feel like this, first of all, this relates to this generational issue I talked about, where some of you guys have family members who like to work and not take breaks, and now it's passed on to you, and so you feel like you have to keep working and not take breaks. Okay, so we need to kind of purify that kind of generational curse in a sense, or generational habit. But it's also about purifying your energy. I feel like when you dedicate so much time to other things, it clogs up your energy in a sense, because you're not putting that time into yourself. So we need to purify our energy. Okay, when I was talking about that spiritual devotion, that would actually help you as well, because you would like learn ways to do that, right? Whether it's through prayer or like crystals or something. Taking a break would help you do that. Okay, voyage, that's self-explanatory. We talked about this. Some of you guys would actually benefit from going on vacation near a body of water. Ow. Because it's symbolic, right? Because water is like a purifying element, in a sense. And water also represents like the great unknown. Like when you think of an ocean, it's like there's so much of the ocean that has not been explored. And if some of you guys do relate to being control freaks, that's like a whole symbol. That's like a whole symbolic, metaphorical situation in and of itself. Just being in an area of the world that has been not fully understood or explored, which is the ocean. Okay, so some of you guys maybe that family vacation you're gonna get trapped. That sounds negative. Coerced. That sounds negative too. Taken on that family vacation you're gonna take it on. Maybe it's a cruise or something, or it's like to an island, okay, or something like that. Something with a lot of water. Okay, for truth, I feel like this is talking about how this is something you've known for a while, that you need to go on these vacations or take time off, and you've just been kind of ignoring it. So like I said, Spirit is going to try to like, instead of nudging you like they've been doing, it's going to be like straight up pushing you. Like they're literally just going to like shove you into a vacation. Like it's going to happen. Whether it's your body, you're going to just, or like, and I can't even get my words out. But it's kind of like, some people, the way Spirit works is very interesting, right? It's like, if you don't do this yourself, we're going to make you do it, right? So like maybe you'll get, I don't want to say sick, because hello, we are in a panini press. We were in a panoramic, a Panasonic currently at the time of this filming, but you could get a little cold or something. Okay. Or in your case, I feel like it would just be exhaustion, just body exhaustion. Okay. So Spirit's kind of like, you want to do this the easy way, or we're going to do this the hard way. I mean, how hard can it be getting coerced or asked to go on a family vacation? That's not hard, but you know what I'm trying to say. Instead of like you taking the initiative, it's gonna be someone else taking the initiative and pulling you in. Like they're gonna think of you and pull you into the situation, and the situation is the vacation. Okay, potentially. And if it's not a family member asking you to go on vacation, maybe you need to ask your family to go on vacation with you. Or you need to ask your friends to go on vacation with you. Okay. Then with leadership, this is what I was talking about with you feeling like there's no point in going on vacation because I'm going to be stressed anyway, thinking about all the work not getting done at the office, or, this mentality that like, if I want something done right, I have to do it myself. That's not what good leaders say. Good leaders know how to delegate. Good leaders know how to pick people on their team who can handle the work for like 3 days or however long you plan on being away from the office or whatever. Like you should be able to foster independence within your own teams. Or, if you are an employee and it's your boss that's not doing the job, then maybe this is an opportunity for you to leave your job and find one. Maybe that's what Thanatos Death is talking about, getting a new job where you have that time and time to take for yourself, and you have a boss who knows how to, lead the team so that it's not just you doing all the work and then a bunch of incompetent people running around confused. Or it's a sign that you yourself need to take the reins here and try to create a team that can handle this type of work. But anyways, group 2, I hope you enjoyed this pick a card reading on your next great adventure. I hope you enjoy your vacation. That I hope you choose to go on. And please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time on my channel. Bye-bye. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your pick a card reading. Your Call Me If You Get Lost themed pick a card reading, where we are going to be talking about your next great adventure. So the cards we have here, we have the 8 of Swords with Strength, 3 of Swords, the Hermit, the Ace of Pentacles reversed, and the 4 of Wands. Okay, so this group feels very, this group feels restricted in some way. It feels like you guys feel like you don't have a lot of freedom. It feels like this is part of, like, you're trapped in like a karmic cycle of limiting yourself or restricting yourself, because when we have the 8 of Swords, it talks about being trapped or feeling constricted, but usually this constriction is all in your head. Like, it's not literally, it's more like mentally. You have trapped yourself into this box, and you could walk out the box anytime you want to, but because of your thoughts and some type of karma here, because we do have 8 of Swords, and then Strength card is has number 8 on it. There's some type of karmic loop where we don't feel like we have the true freedom. Okay, so I'm not sure what this is just yet, but moving on, we also have the 3 of Swords and the Hermit here. So it feels like this restriction might be from the home or the family. Not because of the 3 of Swords. I'm like looking at the 4 of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles reversed. But yeah, it feels like this restriction might be from the home or the family. Like, there's like either you may still live at home with your family, or even if you live alone, or not alone, but away from your family, there's some type of foundational, somewhere in your foundation, so in your childhood, it's like your value, I don't know, you don't feel, you don't have freedom. I don't know. Like, you may have grown up feeling very isolated, right? Like, you may have grown up feeling like other people don't understand you, or you're like maybe a little too alternative, or, it felt like people didn't appreciate your thoughts and ideas, and they kind of turned it against you and used it as a tool to hurt you, as opposed to like using it as a tool to build you up. Okay, so even though you have these great ideas or this great personality or whatever, you have value as a human being. Okay. Because of your childhood, or because of your family or your home or where you grew up or something, you don't feel like you're able to truly be yourself and to truly embody this confidence that you have every right to feel. Okay, so now I pulled some extra cards. We have the Magician, the 8 of Pentacles, the 3 of Wands, and the 9 of Cups. Okay, so with the Magician, I do feel like you guys have some type of talent or skill deep within you that you kind of, you feel like you can only truly show in isolation. And even if it's not a talent, maybe it's just your true personality. Like maybe when you're alone is when you feel most comfortable, just because of the wounds you could say you've inflicted as a result of the environment you grew up in, or your home or your family or something. Okay, so with the Three of Wands and the Nine of Cups here as well, I feel like this is talking about like you may have to like I don't know. I feel like this might be like a physical, it's like part mental and part physical. Like you have to mentally undo all the crap that you've learned growing up or in your family or in your hometown or whatever that has caused you to build these restrictions around yourself and not have the confidence to show your true personality, okay? Because that's holding you back. And also, you may also have to physically separate yourself from these people as well. So you may have to move to somewhere like far away. Doesn't necessarily have to be a whole other country, although it could be. But it could just be like, you just need to move away from these people so that you can kind of get a fresh start. So yeah, I feel like your next great adventure is really about, and it kind of goes back to the album too. Like if you've listened to the Call Me If You Get Lost album, like one of the themes Tyler talks about is how when he was younger, people used to like drag him and not really get his art and like not really think he was weird or and mess with him and stuff. And then now that he's, you know, famous and people love the stuff he makes, you know, it's people have a different tune. Now people, you know, are speaking more positively about him. And it's like the same thing that y'all used to hate on him for. Now he has turned into something that makes him tons of money. And, you know, he always, even though people dragged him for it, he always had the passion and love for it. So he kept at it. But he had to leave and go to, I think he said he went to LA when he was like 19 or something for the first time, and blah, blah, blah. So, okay, that might be this Three of Wands situation where you actually might have to leave your home to really have true emotional fulfillment, right? Okay, now with the Hermit, I also feel like, because on this Hermit card, she's closing this laptop. So it also kind of feels like you guys don't even share you guys might not share your talent on the internet. Okay, so some of you guys, like let's say you're a musician. Okay, you may not post the music you make online because you're afraid of criticism and you're afraid of like how that feels to be told that like the stuff you've made isn't good enough or whatever. But with the Ace of Pentacles here, although it's reversed because of your background. But I feel like you guys actually have the opportunity to really find emotional fulfillment and potentially even financial fulfillment through these talents and through your true personality. But you have to be willing and open to show it off. And for some of you, you may not feel that freedom until you leave home or you can mentally free yourself from the shackles. Okay, to be over dramatic, from the shackles of what has been ingrained in you for so long. Okay, now I'm going to get into the Oracle cards, which I have not looked at, but I did shuffle and pull them out. So first we have the Sustainer. Okay, the Sustainer. I'll put that over there. And then we have the Storm. Ooh, the Storm and the Sustainer. Okay. Oh, is it even? Maybe not. Okay, so with the Sustainer, okay, so with the Sustainer, right? This looks like someone's hands. And then I'm being drawn to like how this hand is like cupping this pentacle. Okay, so this could be talking about a couple things. First of all, some of you could have like a talent that is through your hands. So maybe you're like a sculptor. Ooh. So maybe you're like a sculptor, maybe you're a tarot reader, whatever. But you may have like a talent that's through your hands that is not being shown off to the world. Maybe you make stuff with your hands. Maybe you're like really crafty. Maybe you're like a DIY king or queen or whatever. Okay, but this is also talking about like holding on to your gift and your, like, kind of holding on to your light as a person, right? Like you cannot let anyone, this sounds corny as hell, but you can't let anyone dim your light. Baby, you can't let anybody dim your shine. Okay, hold on to that light. Sustain the light. I just realized this is blurry. Okay, hold on to that light. Sustain that light. Because it may take some time before you actually can free yourself from this karmic cycle that you're in. It's something you've been dealing with for some time, okay? So it's going to take some time to get out of it. Okay, then with the storm. So when I think of a storm, I think of something that's obscured, okay? Because when there's a storm, you can barely see. It's raining, it's loud, there's thunder, there's lightning. You know, if you look at this image, it's kind of like a mishmash, confusion. You can't really see what's going on in the card. It's just a lot of colors and confusion and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I feel like mentally there's a lot going on with you guys. Like, it just feels very mentally jumbled. It just feels like you want to conceal yourself and just be in the shadows. And there's nothing wrong with being in the shadows, but it's like, why do you want to be in the shadows? Are you in the shadows because it's what's comfortable and it's what's safe? Because that may not be what's best, okay, for you here. Like, the Sustainer card almost looks like what the Storm card would look like if it was, like, clear. Because it's kind of similar colors, sort of, kind of. Okay, then we have these two Oracle. We have a change in the wind, and we have mending. Okay, so with the change in the wind, so there's a zebra on this card, right? Zebras usually deal with very eccentric, artistic, can represent very eccentric, artistic energy. So this is kind of talking about embracing that eccentricity and it being a catalyst for change in your life. So it's almost like the more you embrace this side of yourself and let it kind of be free to breathe, the more freedom you'll feel in your own personal life. The less boxed in and closed in you'll feel by other people's expectations and beliefs of who you are. Okay, because what the mending card is talking about mending our belief systems. Okay, because unfortunately our belief systems were created on devaluing ourselves as a person. And that's not okay. So we kind of have to knock down those old belief systems and then rebuild them back up. And that is going to take some time. So I feel like the words you guys say to yourselves, you need to watch what you say because we have the Magician here. So I feel like verbally we need to sort of reprogram our minds so that we're saying the right words to ourselves so that we can feel this freedom. Okay, so if you guys gotta like do little affirmations or whatever in the morning, they have like videos on YouTube or you could just play them, like affirmations for positivity, and they'll say the affirmation, you just repeat after it. Like we might have to get into that. Okay, we might have to get into that type of positive reinforcement. Okay, and then the mending is also like they're doing work with their hands. So again, you guys could, maybe some of you guys are designers, like you're clothing designers or jewelry designers or something. Like you work with fabric maybe, like something with your hands is really standing out to me here. I also feel like some of you guys may have a talent for like fixing things. Like some of you guys might like to be of service to other people and you like to be problem solvers. I don't know why I'm getting that vibe also, but yeah. Okay, then with this oracle card, we have simplicity, okay? Simplicity. Okay, so some of you guys, again, I feel like there's a lot of mental overwhelmedness. So kind of finding time to quiet your mind, finding time to clear out the mental clutter that you have in regards to the thoughts you have about yourself. That would also be very helpful in helping you get to this. Basically, your next great adventure is self-love. Basically, like believing in yourself and like just being yourself. That's kind of your next great adventure. And I feel like this is reassurance that eventually there will come a time where you are at peace with yourself and you don't feel the need to impress anybody. It's just something very tranquil about this card. So I just feel like that's something that's being promised to you. Okay, so with Voyage, it's interesting because I gotta move these cards. I was kind of fixated on the water here with the Eight of Swords. Like, almost like, and then when you look at the water she's standing on, there's like two paths out from these swords. So that's interesting that Voyage came up and it's like a whale flying with another whale over the water. And there's the moon. Okay, so I feel like some of you guys would benefit from being around water or doing some type of ritual around water. So maybe when you're in the shower and you're like cleaning yourself or whatever, you kind of say affirmations to yourself while you're kind of scrubbing the day away, or maybe you need to like pray for guidance while you're in the shower or take spiritual baths if that's your thing. Or maybe that's something you need to try. Maybe some of you benefit from being by the beach, speaking your the things you want for your life by water. Like something about water here is kind of standing out to me. Okay, sorry, going back to a change in the wind, because now I'm noticing it's a change in the wind and then there's a feather and then the wind blows the feather in a different direction than where we thought we were going. Okay, so I feel like some of you guys need to be more open to what possibilities lay ahead. Okay, because with the Three of Wands, which we had over here, usually talks about someone who is potentially embarking on a new journey or trying to kind of figure out where they need to go, assess where they need to go. You know what I'm saying? So you may start out on a journey and then find that life kind of pushes you somewhere else. And you should kind of just go along with it, because we also had the Nine of Cups underneath the Three of Wands. Okay, the Nine of Cups is like wishes and dreams, happiness, coming true, all that kind of stuff. So, right, it's kind of like in the card, they're holding on to this one wand, but there's these two other wands, right? So just keep that in mind, that the future is uncertain, and this embracing your eccentricities or embracing your true personality is kind of step one to this Nine of Cups that is in the future, but we just don't know exactly how we're going to get there, and we kind of just need to be open to the fact that things might change, right? We have to hold on to the dream. We can't just give up because, you know, our classmates from school weren't messing with the idea, or, you know, you might have some people who think you're weird or crazy like they did Tyler with his earlier work. Okay, get into it. All right, then we have 3 astro cards. Okay, so let's get into what these are. So we have OMG. Wow. Okay. I just want to say I shuffled these cards. I didn't look at the oracle cards after I shuffled them. I just went off the tarot. Anyways, because this is matching what I said. Okay, so the 9th house. The 9th house is our belief systems, you guys. That's our belief systems. Exploring, travel, writing, foreign countries. Okay, I'm just gonna put that there. The 4th house. The 4th is our home, our family, our foundations, our comfort, our property. Nurturing yourself. Okay, and then we have Pisces, the dreamer, mystical, intuitive, sacrifice, sensitive fantasies, artistic. Okay, so like I said, our belief systems from our family makes us feel trapped. So we need to change our belief systems. We're dreamers. We need to sustain the dream. It's matching what I said. I love that. Confirmation. Okay, 9th house. Okay, so some of you guys, with that 3 of Wands, actually maybe potentially traveling and voyage. Physically traveling may actually kind of help you open your eyes up to how different people are. Because when you're in your hometown or you grow up around a very mentally closed off family. Mentally closed off as in they are not open to new things, right? Or things that don't fit the status quo. When you leave your home, you really realize how different people are and just how much variety there is among humankind. Okay, and so traveling will help open your eyes to that and help you embrace your eccentricities more and your kind of weirdness more. Pisces the dreamer, I don't know. I kind of feel like this is corny, but no dream is too big, okay? No dream is too big. Like, if you live in a small town, it's like everybody in that town, you know, they work the little regular 9-to-5 job or whatever, you know, and you kind of feel like, but I want to be a fashion designer. Nobody in my town is a fashion designer. So is it even possible? And the answer is yes. Yes, it is. Okay, so we just kind of gotta leave home, basically. Like, leaving home is a form of nurturing ourselves and allowing our energy to really flow and be free. And if we don't have the money to travel, I mean, actually a lot of people travel who are not rich necessarily, but they just know how to spend their money and stuff. So anything is possible. Like, you guys just kind of do the research, do your little reading. Okay, learning. Hello. Get on YouTube like you are now. Look up how to travel for cheap or something. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Group number, am I on 3? I think I'm on 3. Group number 3, thank you for watching this Call Me If You Get Lost themed reading. Please feel free to leave a comment letting me know if it resonated, subscribe. And I hope to see you again on my channel soon. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your pick a card reading, your Call Me If You Get Lost pick a card reading on your next great adventure. So we have the Magician with the Ace of Wands reversed, the King of Wands reversed, Page of Cups reversed, the Sun, Nine of Swords, Knight of Wands, the Fool reversed, Strength, and Death reversed. Okay, so I feel like your next great adventure is not going to look like a great adventure at first. I feel like your next great adventure is in disguise. Okay? Yeah, I feel like I feel like it's in disguise. Like, we have the Ace of Wands reversed here, right? Ace of Wands. But it's with the Magician. So I feel like you're going to have the ability to turn this adventure around. So it may look not fun. Like, it just, at first, it just doesn't look like what it actually will be. Okay. Let me see. King of Wands, Page of Cups. King of Wands, Page of Cups. Yeah, because it's like the Page of Cups, right? Page of Cups can talk about like this. Look at this little fish. Like, look. Look at this new cool thing, this new emotional opportunity that's presented itself here. But the King of Wands is reversed, so it's like, like, I don't want to do that though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do it. So there's something about this opportunity or adventure that is not appealing at face value. Something about it is not appealing at face value. Okay, because we have the Sun, which is like the best card. One of the best cards. But then the Nine of Swords is there too. So it's like, instead of being excited, we're like, ugh, like, I have to go do this. Like, this is gonna suck. I don't wanna. But you kind of have to take a chance because there's a lot of major arcana cards in this spread. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Half the cards are major arcana cards, which is usually indicative of very massive, okay, I don't want to say massive life changes, but usually that's kind of like more destiny kind of events, like, oh, this has to happen, like the universe is going to make this happen vibes, as opposed to like free will vibes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course you still have free will, but these are like bigger things, bigger forces are at play here. Okay, basically. So the Knight of Wands, right? It's like we go on this adventure and it kicks off like this whole area right here where it's like the Fool. So it's like a new beginning. It's like an opportunity to start fresh and to really become a different person with this Death card here. But it's all reversed because it's like, we didn't want to do this. Like, we started out not wanting to do this. But because we have the Magician, we have the energy of a person who can create their own reality, which is kind of like what the Magician is. We turn this whole situation around and now it's like, wow, we are like a new person at the end of it. We are like more confident. We have a better understanding of ourselves, right? Even the ugliest parts of ourselves, our shadow side is now more, we know that side of ourselves better, right? It's like if you had multiple personalities, right? Like if you were two people in one and this one half of you was a little more obscured, right? Like whether that be your unconscious mind, your shadow side, parts of yourself that has dealt with trauma that you don't deal with, I don't know, whatever it is. Now that we went through this adventure, we know that side of ourselves better, and now we can integrate that more into our whole personality and our whole self, so we can fuse and become this one like amazing, more leveled up person. So I don't know exactly what this adventure is that doesn't seem appealing at first, but actually ends up being appealing. I mean, it could be like, I feel like I don't know what it is because you shouldn't know what it is. Because if you, I don't know, it's almost like, because you don't know, like, because you're going to go into this situation with a more negative mindset, you'll realize your abilities as the Magician. Like, you'll realize that you have the power to change your reality because you're in a space that's like not what you desired in the first place. So I don't know what it is. Let me see. I'm gonna pull another card. Spirit, what is this? What is this that they don't want to do? What could it be? Okay. It gave me the Queen of Wands. Okay, I need a little more. Okay, and it gave me the Emperor. I don't know. I feel like, okay, so it could be having more responsibility at your job. This is just some possibilities. This may not fit for everybody, but for some of you, maybe it's you have more responsibility at your job than you wanted. Okay. You have more responsibility at your job than you wanted. So you're irritated at first, but it ends up being good because then, you know, you meet people who can help you get a job at a better place, like later on in life or something like that. Or you go through experiences where you have to become a better leader, or you have to like learn how to deal with situations you're not used to, and it makes you like a stronger person or something. So it could be something to do with like authority, having more authority than you wanted at first. Okay. It could be about having a kid. I don't know, because I'm focusing on this Ankh right there. You see the Ankh? And we have the sun. Sun can mean children. Okay. It could be it could be having a kid or taking care of a kid that you didn't expect to have to do. Like, so maybe you had to get a job as like a au pair or something. Out of au pair in France. I don't know why I said au pair and not like babysitter. But yeah, like some of y'all are dealing with something that has to do with like authority. Gaining authority, life, having a child, dealing with a child. Wheel of Fortune, 7 of Wands, 9 of Cups. Yeah, I just see you being very resistant to whatever this is, and then it ending up being something that brings you a lot of happiness in the long run, or a lot of joy, but it just doesn't seem that way at first. So I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments what it is, because I don't know. Okay, so we also have some oracle cards that I haven't looked at, but I did shuffle and draw. So what is this? We have the One. Okay, the One. Okay, and we have the Thread. Okay, so I feel like this situation might make you have more empathy for other people and make you realize that we are all connected. Because, right, we have the One card that kind of talks about, like, you know, in a corny kind of way, we're all one. We're all connected. The thread. There's the thread between all of us. Because we're all people, we're all human beings. We all have feelings. We all go through things. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so this could be something that makes you have more empathy for people. Okay, so maybe you have to deal with people you're not used to dealing with that make you have to go through this shift, this transformation. Maybe there's some type of humanitarian situation going on here. I don't know. Okay, for those of you who, if this is about a child, okay, this kind of looked like an egg to me. And when I saw the thread, I just thought of an umbilical cord. I'm not gonna lie. So some of y'all could be having a baby. Okay, I don't know. And even if it's not an actual physical, you are gestating and carrying a child. Like I said, you could be taking care of somebody else's child, or maybe you're giving birth to like a creative idea or something. All right, now we have Deep Knowing, and we have All That Glitters. All that glitters is not gold. So that kind of goes back to what I was saying, to where it's like, this is a great adventure in disguise. Like, it looks not great, but beneath the veneer of not cute ugliness, it's actually amazing. It's actually going to be great. Or maybe it looks great, but it's actually not that great. It may not be great in the moment, but it'll be great in the long run. Maybe that's it too, for some of you. But with deep knowing, you'll know, you guys may know what it is. Like, there may be an opportunity that came up for you recently that you're like dreading. And this is kind of like, okay, I'm not looking forward to this, but I know that this is going to pay off for me in the long term. Okay, now I picked these two astro cards. So we have Gemini, the investigator. Okay, I'm going to put that there. And then we have Earth, which talks about lessons. Okay, so it's interesting because both of these cards kind of talk about duality. Earth talks about duality. Gemini is the sign of the twins. Okay, so I did talk about before how we have the shadow self and our regular self, and we're going to be integrating those two things together to become one whole boss person. Okay, so that could be part of the thing here. Another thing that's coming up to me is this could have to do with like teaching or learning something, because Gemini rules school, or Gemini rules early education. Very curious sign. And then Earth, the card says schooling and human condition. I feel like at the end of this all, like, your guys' purpose is going to be more clear. Like, your mission on Earth, like what you're supposed to be doing, is going to become more clear to you than it was before. Because we have deep knowing here, I feel like whatever this is, it could have to do with like intellectual stuff. Like, either you or someone who becomes an expert at something, who amasses a lot of knowledge about something. And it doesn't have to be something you had to study from a textbook. It could be something that like you only could learn through experience too, because Earth says 3D experiences. Okay, so like I said, you're learning more about empathy. You're learning more about humankind and people, and you're becoming a very wise person, even more than you already are. Okay, this might actually be the spiritual group. Like, this kind of is giving me spiritual awakening vibes a little bit. So some of y'all could go through spiritual awakening where you go through something that's like hard. It sounds so vague. I'm sorry. You go through some difficult experience and you come out like, wow, in the moment it sucked, but I feel like more spiritually aware, more spiritually awakened, more spiritually enlightened. Yeah. Okay, then I have finally four. I usually only wanted to pick two, but Spirit gave me four of these oracle cards. So we have Wonders. Okay. What a wonder. We have Wisdom. Oh, I said wise. Y'all are becoming more wise. It's true. It's true. We have Trust. A lot of blue. And we have Diligence. Okay, that's green. That threw me off. Everything was blue until now. Okay, there's a lot of blue here, so I feel like a lot of you guys, and we have, this kind of looks like an amethyst or something in the Wonders card. So, I feel like a lot of you guys, again, it's like you're going to be more spiritually in tune, more intuitive, more, dare I say, psychic from going through these experiences. Like, I'm almost getting like even though we have the Gemini card, Gemini is the opposite of the sign of Sagittarius. I'm getting like a Sagittarius vibe a little bit, because Sagittarius is the sign that talks about, you know, learning these deep spiritual truths, or learning about religion or something, and then using that to become an inspirational figure for others and preaching to other people. Like, I'm kind of getting that, like, your guys are going to get through experience that makes you more wise, and then you're able to, from there, teach other people and inform other people about how life is, about the ways of the world, so that they can feel more secure in themselves and secure about how their lives are going. Okay, so with diligence, I think some of you guys need to pay attention to the details with this situation, whatever it is. Okay, so like if you are embarking on a new job where you have more authority, pay attention to the details. Make sure, you notice. And when I say details, I mean, that's very vague. But details could be like spiritual signs, spiritual messages, synchronicities. Pay attention to that stuff. That stuff means something. It's the universe trying to tell you you're on the right path. It's going to be fine. Trying to give you signals and signs. Like whatever this situation is, it's going to birth something new. Whether that's yourself transforming or you having a child. Okay. Hello. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Yeah. I feel like I was about to say something else and I lost my train of thought because then I decided to make a joke. Okay. Then we have, what else? Did I go through all these? Wonders, wisdom, trust, diligence. Yeah. Oh, I was talking about details. Yeah. Could be practical details or it could be like spiritual details. Okay, finally, group 4, I decided to pull an extra deck that I have not pulled for any other group. Get some more messages. So, first we have beauty. Focus. The beauty that you recognize in the world is simply a reflection of your own. Take time to appreciate. Ooh, girl, she's getting out of focus. All the beauty inside and out in your life. This is a way of instantly shifting your perspective to one of gratitude. Then we have magic. You are a magical being with the ability to create your own reality. This involves stepping into your power and believing in your own abilities. When armed with this confidence, you'll create and be a living example of magic. Beauty, that kind of makes me think of the Wonder card. Wonders. Like finding beauty in little things in life, finding wonder in little things of life. And the Magician, I feel like these both relate to the Magician card. The Magician card talks about with manifestation, right? Like as above, so below, whatever is going on mentally reflects in your reality, all that kind of stuff. So the Beauty card just talks about having more gratitude. So even though you may be going through a situation that seems like it sucks, just having gratitude for where you are in life and shifting your perspective, shifting what's going on within, because we do have the Magic card, okay, which talks about stepping into your own power, believing your own abilities, creating your own reality. Okay. So I don't want to repeat myself too much, but I think you guys get the message. So group 4, thank you for listening to this reading. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to like, if you're feeling generous, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you on my channel again soon. Bye-bye.